G'day mates, I'm Jake, your Aussie guide from Should I Go, and today we're going on an epic adventure through Luxembourg. We'll dive into storybook towns, lush green valleys, medieval castles, and even some delicious grub. Plus, I'll share a few quirky anecdotes and tips I picked up along the way. From free public transport, yes, free, to cultural treats and hidden gems, we've got a lot to cover. Let's jump right in with reason number 7, and trust me, by the final countdown, you'll be ready to pack your bags for Luxembourg. Reason number 7. Luxembourg is tiny, but wow, is it mighty. This country is smaller than Rhode Island, and you could drive across it in under an hour, but don't let its size fool you. In Luxembourg, great things come in small packages. One moment you're exploring a bustling cosmopolitan city, and 30 minutes later you're wandering in a quiet medieval village or a dense forest. Because everything's so close, you can see a ton in a short time. Spend your morning hiking through mossy woods, and your afternoon sipping espresso in a polished city square, all without feeling rushed. Fewer hours on the road means more time for adventure. And speaking of roads, if you're like me and tend to get lost, no worries, mate. With Luxembourg's size, you're never too far from where you need to be. It's almost impossible to overshoot this place, blink, and you might accidentally cross into Belgium. Because Luxembourg is so compact, day trips are a breeze. You can set up base in one place. Most travelers choose Luxembourg City and take quick trips out to every corner of the country. One day you'll be touring a vineyard on the Moselle wine route. The next you're exploring a castle perched in the Ardennes. And by evening you're back for dinner in the city. It's all unbelievably convenient. Think of Luxembourg as Europe's ultimate sampler platter. Bite-sized, but oh so flavorful. If you're short on time or just love efficient travel, this little Grand Duchy delivers big time. No endless hours of transit or exhausting sprawls, just pure, concentrated adventure. Travel tip: because distances are so small, consider renting a bike or hiking part of the way to really soak in the scenery. There are well-marked trails and cycling routes everywhere. In fact, many locals bike to work from other countries. That's how close everything is. Luxembourg proves that good things really do come in small packages. And that brings us to reason number 6, which makes exploring this country even easier. Reason number 6. Travel here is a breeze because Luxembourg has free public transport and zero stress. Yup, you heard that right. All public transport in the entire country is free of charge. Buses, trains, trams, hop on and off without ever fumbling for coins or tickets. It's the first country in the world to make nationwide transport completely free. And it's a game changer for travelers on a budget. You can zip from city center to countryside at no cost, which means more euros to spend on Luxembourg's pastries and wine. And this isn't some rickety old system either. The public transit is state-of-the-art. The trams and buses are sparkling clean, punctual, and super safe. The city tram even has Wi-Fi and USB chargers at every seat. Talk about traveling in style. I was so impressed I half joked that the tram felt like a free guided tour on rails. In fact, you can ride the Luxtram from one end of the city to the other just to sightsee. It glides past parks, modern buildings, and historic sites. It's like getting a bonus tour while resting your legs. Driving is easy here too, if that's more your style. Light traffic, smooth roads, and short distances. But honestly, with public transport this good, why bother driving? One morning I caught a local bus up to a hilltop castle and ended up chatting with the driver because I was the only passenger. He gave me a mini history lesson as we drove. How's that for personalized service? The whole country is so well connected that even remote villages have regular bus service. And remember, it's all free. Travel tip: download the mobility.lu app or grab a timetable. The network is extensive but easy to navigate. With zero fares, you can be spontaneous. If you see a cool hill or village from your train window, why not hop off and explore? There's likely another bus or train coming soon to get you back. No tickets equals no worries. Luxembourg basically hands you the keys to explore every corner hassle-free, a traveler's dream. Now that you know you can get everywhere easily, let's talk about what makes those places special. Starting with Luxembourg's unique blend of cultures. Reason number 5. The cultural blend in Luxembourg is something truly special. This little country sits at the crossroads of Europe, and it shows. Walking through Luxembourg City, you'll hear conversations in French, German, Luxembourgish, and English all around you. In fact, Luxembourg has 3 official languages, French, German, and Luxembourgish, and most locals juggle them with ease. It's a melting pot of cultures. Nearly half the residents are actually from abroad, giving the place a cosmopolitan vibe. One minute you might chat with a local born and raised here, and the next you're trading travel tips with someone from Portugal or Italy who now calls Luxembourg home. It's like getting a mini European tour without leaving the country. Luxembourg's history is as rich as its culture. Did you know it's the world's only Grand Duchy? That means it's ruled by a Grand Duke, which is pretty darn cool and old-timey. It's been independent since 1839, but its story stretches back to medieval times. The very name Luxembourg comes from Luxembourg, a little fortress bought in 963 AD that started it all. Over the centuries, this strategic little land was coveted by everyone from the Spanish to the Prussians, which is why the capital was ringed by such mighty fortifications that it earned the nickname Gibraltar of the North. Those fortress walls and underground tunnels, the Bock Casemates, are now a UNESCO World Heritage Site and open for you to explore. Trust me, wandering those dim tunnels where soldiers once stood guard is a goosebumps history moment. And let's not forget the traditions. There are quirky local customs like the dancing procession of Echternach, where thousands literally hop through the streets of a town every spring in a centuries-old folk ritual, or the summer Schubefauer Fun Fair, a huge carnival that's been running since the year 1340. Whenever you visit, you're sure to stumble on Luxembourg's unique blend of old and new. One evening, I found myself at an outdoor concert in the city square, modern music thumping, with the medieval palace as a backdrop. It struck me how harmoniously past and present mix here. So if you're a history buff, or just love experiencing diverse cultures, Luxembourg will steal your heart. Now, speaking of hearts, the way to a traveler's heart is often through the stomach, so let's move on to reason number 4. Reason number 4. The food scene in Luxembourg is a delight and a delicious surprise. For such a tiny nation, Luxembourg serves up big flavors, from hearty local classics to cuisines from all over. You get a mix of French finesse and German comfort food, with a Luxembourgish twist all its own. Ever tried Judd Gaardebounen? I probably butchered that pronunciation, mate. It's Luxembourg's national dish, a tender smoked pork collar with broad beans in a rich sauce, proper soul food, especially in cooler months. How about a bowl of boonenschloep, a warming green bean and potato soup often jazzed up with bacon, perfect after a chilly day out exploring. And if you visit around the holidays, don't miss gromperekkeltje, crispy potato pancakes sold at winter markets, usually with a side of applesauce. Yum! Luxembourgish cuisine is all about comfort and heartiness, but the country's international vibe means you can find world-class restaurants of every stripe. In the capital, I indulged in everything from classic French pastries in a corner bakery to Italian gelato to an amazing Moroccan tagine at a local favorite spot. Cravings for sushi, Indian curry, or vegan burgers? You'll find them here too. The variety is staggering for a country this size. One evening, I treated myself at a cozy bouche, that's a Luxembourgish pub restaurant. And the next day, I stumbled on a lively food market with cheeses, sausages, and even fresh oysters. It's a foodie paradise hiding in plain sight. Now, let's talk drinks. Luxembourg produces some excellent wines, especially whites and sparkling. Take a day to drive or cycle along the Moselle Valley wine route on the country's eastern border. You'll find vineyards famous for crisp Riesling and a local sparkling wine, Cremant de Luxembourg, that could give champagne a run for its money. Many wineries offer tours and tastings. Nothing beats sipping a chilled white overlooking the river at sunset. Beer lovers, Luxembourg's got you too. Try a pint of Beaufort or Ducal, the beloved local brews, while relaxing in a beer garden. And for dessert, pair it with a slice of Quetschentart, a delicious plum tart. Or pop into the chocolate house in Luxembourg City for a decadent hot chocolate. They're famous for it. Basically, come hungry and thirsty, and leave very, very happy. From traditional dishes that warm your soul to gourmet dining that surprises your palate, Luxembourg will satisfy all your cravings. Now let's walk off those calories with some outdoor adventure, shall we? Reason number 3. Luxembourg's landscapes are straight up stunning, making it an outdoor lover's playground. For a country so small, it boasts an incredible variety of scenery. If you love hiking, put on your boots and hit the Mullerthal trail in the east. They call that region Luxembourg's Little Switzerland, because of its rolling hills, thick forests, and curious rock formations. I spent a day hopping over streams and squeezing between mossy boulders on that trail. It felt like I'd stepped into a Brothers Grimm fairy tale forest, minus any scary witches, thankfully. There are waterfalls, grottos, and panoramic lookouts that reward you at every turn of the path. And guess how many people I ran into? Barely a soul. It was just me, the birds, and the babbling brooks. Talk about a hidden gem for hikers. Beyond the forests, Luxembourg has two beautiful natural parks, Upper Sûre and Our. At Upper Sûre, there's a big placid lake where you can go swimming, kayaking, or have a sunny picnic on the shore. It's hard to believe you're still in the same country as a bustling financial city. In the north, the Ardennes region offers rolling highlands and charming villages like Esch-sur-Sûre, which looks like a postcard, a tiny village cuddled by a river and topped with castle ruins. I climbed a little hill there for a view, and felt like I'd discovered a secret realm. Bird watching, mountain biking, horseback riding. If you enjoy it, you can do it here, all within an hour's reach. The best part is how untamed and uncrowded Luxembourg's outdoors feel. You're not jostling with crowds on the trail or fighting for a photo spot. Even popular spots remain tranquil. For example, the Valley of Seven Castles, a scenic 37 km drive through central Luxembourg's villages, is a road trip many tourists miss. I drove it on a sunny afternoon, winding through peaceful hamlets, past pastures and forests, and as advertised, I encountered one picturesque castle after another. Yes, 7 of them. It was castle overload in the best way possible, with virtually no other tourists around. Just me yelling, "Another castle, are you kidding?" to my empty car. Laughs. If you crave some fresh air and scenery, Luxembourg delivers in spades. From deep forest to gentle rivers, it's an outdoor paradise that's accessible to everyone, casual strollers and hardcore adventurers alike. And speaking of castles, let's give those their own spotlight, because they are legendary. Reason number 2. Luxembourg is loaded with castles and they look like they jumped right off the pages of a fantasy novel. If you're a castle junkie like me, prepare for some serious giddiness. This country has over 50 castles and chateaux dotted across its landscape. For perspective, that's basically one every few villages. And they're not dull ruins either. Many are beautifully preserved and absolutely awe-inspiring. The superstar has to be Vianden Castle, often hailed as one of Europe's most stunning feudal residences. The first time I saw Vianden, I literally stopped in my tracks. It looms over a cute little town and the river below, all tall turrets and thick stone walls. Honestly, it looks straight out of Disney. Climbing up to it felt like walking into a fairy tale. Inside, the rooms have been restored with period furniture and exhibits, so you can imagine medieval knights and duchesses roaming about. I easily spent a whole day there, exploring every rampart and dungeon. There may or may not be footage of me pretending to be a king, but we'll save that embarrassment. And Vianden is just the beginning. Check out Bourscheid Castle, perched on a hilltop surrounded by misty hills. It's dreamy, especially at sunset. Or Beaufort, where you get 2 castles for one, a medieval ruin and a Renaissance chateau side by side. Plus they offer a tasting of Casero, a blackcurrant liqueur brewed from an old castle recipe. How cool is that? Clairvaux Castle in the north not only looks picture perfect, but also houses a famous photography exhibit, the Family of Man collection for art lovers. Even the Grand Duke's Palace in Luxembourg City counts as a castle in my book. When the Duke's away in summer, they open it for guided tours so you can peek at the gilded halls of royal luxury. Many castles host medieval festivals or candlelight concerts at certain times of year, adding extra magic. Imagine listening to classical music in a courtyard lit by torches, or watching knights joust in full armor on the very grounds where real knights once stood. It happens here. Historical trivia. Victor Hugo, the author of Les Miserables, was so enchanted by Vianden that he stayed there and even sketched the castle during his exile. You can visit the house where he lived, down in Vianden town. It seems Luxembourg's castles have been stealing hearts for centuries. So if, like me, you secretly wish dragons and wizards were real, touring Luxembourg's castles is the next best thing. Each fortress has its own stories and legends, and standing on their ancient walls with panoramic views of the countryside is simply unforgettable. Now we've made it to the grand finale, the #1 reason to visit Luxembourg, which ties everything together. Drumroll please. Reason #1. Luxembourg City itself feels like a fairy tale come to life, and it's unlike any other capital in the world. If there's one image that will convince you to go to Luxembourg, it's the capital's spectacular panorama. Graceful spires, centuries-old stone bridges, and dramatic cliffs wrapping around a river gorge, all in one view. The city is built on multiple levels. There's an old lower town called the Grund down by the river, and the upper town on the plateau, linked by winding paths, elevators, and bridges. Exploring it is just pure wow. Around one corner, you'll find a medieval fortress wall or a hidden garden. Around another, a chic modern art museum or a European Union institution humming with diplomats. It's this mashup of old-world charm and modern polish that makes Luxembourg City so captivating. One minute you're walking ancient ramparts, next you're in a sleek shopping street or hopping on a futuristic tram. It's the definition of where past meets present. Remember those legendary fortifications I mentioned? In the capital, you can actually tour the Bock Casemates, a network of tunnels and caves carved into the cliffs. It's like stepping into a secret castle under the city. When you pop out of the casemate openings, you get postcard views of the valley below. Above ground, stroll the Chemin de la Corniche, often called Europe's most beautiful balcony. It's a walkway along the old city walls with panoramic vistas that will fill your camera's memory card in no time. For architecture buffs, there's the grand Ducal Palace, so ornate you half expect King Arthur to walk out, and the Notre Dame Cathedral, a Gothic gem where the Duke's family crypt lies. But Luxembourg City isn't stuck in the Middle Ages, it's also hip and lively. I was there on a Friday night, and the Place d'Armes Square was buzzing. Outdoor cafes, street musicians playing jazz, and locals unwinding after work with glasses of wine. It felt intimate and safe. A big city's attractions with a small town's coziness. Here's something I loved. The city is super clean, safe, and walkable. Despite being a financial hub, fancy banks and EU offices in the Kirchberg district, it never feels soulless or chaotic. Parks and green spaces abound, even a huge petrifying waterfall in the Petrus Valley Park right in the city center. And being a global village, everyone switches languages effortlessly. You'll have no trouble as an English speaker. Locals are friendly and often excited to share their city. I asked a passerby for directions and ended up with a mini tour. He walked me to the lookout point himself, pointing out landmarks like a proud friend showing off his hometown. Insider tip: ride the Vianden panoramic elevator, a free glass elevator that connects the upper city to the valley floor. Not only is it practical, it gives a stunning bird's eye view of the Grund while you ride, and it makes for a fun B-roll shot, as you can see. By day or night, Luxembourg City is pure magic. Illuminated bridges and castles at night look like a Disney movie set. It's the kind of place where you pinch yourself and go, is this place even real? That enchanting cityscape, combined with everything else we've talked about, culture, history, nature, food, convenience, makes Luxembourg an absolute must-visit. So should you go to Luxembourg? By now you know my answer, an enthusiastic yes. This small wonder of a country truly has it all: a fairy tale capital, epic castles, gorgeous nature, rich culture, delicious cuisine, and the friendliest vibe, all wrapped up in a tidy little package that's a joy to explore. Whether you're a history buff, an outdoor adventurer, a foodie, or just a traveler seeking somewhere different and delightful, Luxembourg will surprise and charm you at every turn. Don't let its size or under-the-radar status fool you. In fact, that's part of the appeal. You'll come home bragging about this hidden gem that so many others miss. Now here's your next step. Go experience Luxembourg for yourself. Plan that trip and get ready to create your own stories in this grand duchy adventure. If you enjoyed this journey with me, smash that like button and subscribe to Should I Go for more travel videos with yours truly, Jake. I've got plenty more up my sleeve, and I'd love to hear in the comments where you want to see me go next. Thanks for watching, mates. Until the next destination, happy travels. And remember, the world is full of surprises, even in the smallest of places. Cheers.